Good morning, this is Dr. Turner for Fundamental Mathematics. Today we're going to be covering 8.4. 8.4 is looking at your basic statistics, starting out with central tendency. Central tendency is just a fancy way of saying averages. So we're going to be looking at different averages, specifically mean, median, and mode. So there are, of course, textbook definitions of each of these, which you're welcome to look up in the back of the book in the glossary, or you can Google them. But essentially you have mean, median, and mode. Median is perhaps the easiest because median sounds like middle. So that's how I remember it. In your notes, it does ask you for the definition of each of these, but I always put the definitions in my own words. If you'd like to copy paste it, you can do that as well. But I think writing it in your own words is more helpful. So median is the number that is in the middle, or the average. Okay. Your mode, most frequently occurring. And mean is what we typically think of the average. Mean is the one that actually requires a little bit of arithmetic. To find the mean average, we need to add the numbers, okay, and divide by how many there are. So that one takes a little bit of work, but if you're using a calculator or even doing it by hand, obviously it's not too bad, okay? So there are a couple caveats to a couple of these. Median and mode usually are the easiest to calculate, but you need to be careful because your median, it is the number in the middle, but it is the number in the middle after the numbers are in order. So I would put that in your notes as well. Doesn't matter if it's high to low or low to high, you're going to get the same median, but if it's not in high to low order or low to high order, and you just randomly pick whatever number's in the middle, then it's going to be a little tricky. Okay, so we'll start out with just a very simple set of data. Let's say 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, and 19, for instance. Okay, so if you have a larger set of data, this gets a little trickier, and there are ways to do this using Excel or using Google Sheets. If you had, let's say, a set of 50 data points, so you don't have to go through here. But if I'm doing it, let's say by paper, I would be very careful of going through here and just kind of crossing out the numbers as I go along so that I know which number's in the middle. So 5 and 19, 7 and 17, 9 and 15, etc. And then whatever number is left in the middle, that's going to be my answer. Now in this particular data set, I ended up with 2. Okay? If there are 2 numbers in the middle, like there are here, I have 11 and 13, then it's going to take a little bit of work. If there are 2 numbers in the middle, you're not going to say 11 and 13. You want the average or the mean average of those 2 numbers. Now, some people can do the mental math that the number in between 11 and 13 is 12. You could also get that by doing 11 plus 13 divided by 2, which would give you 12 also. So there's a couple ways to do that. That was just kind of a fluke. Let's look at an easier example. Let's say I did something like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And for your assignment, all the numbers are going to be in order already, so you don't have to worry about that. But on the standardized test, be careful. So, okay, going through here, 10, 50, 20, 40, 30 is my median. That's the number in the middle. Okay. So medians, pretty straightforward. Again, if there's 2 in the middle, that requires a little bit of extra work, but still not too bad. Mode is the most frequently occurring number. Now, mode also has a couple tricks here. Usually on a simple problem, it's easy to see 2, 4, 6, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, right? You look for whatever number occurs the most frequently. Here, I have 2 6s. That's more than any other number. Therefore, my mode is 6. It is possible to have more than one mode. It's possible to have no modes. So in examples 1 and 2, if I look at these, each of these are only occurring once, 5 through 19 odd, for instance. Each number occurs only once. Therefore, my answer here, I would just say there's no mode. So if every number occurs just once, then you would say no mode. If, however, there are, let's say, 2 or 3 numbers that are equally occurring more than the other numbers, then you can have more than one mode. So if I have 15, 15, 15, 17, 17, 19, 21, 21, 23, 23, 23. Okay. Going through here, I would have 3 15s and 3 23s. That's more than the other numbers occurring. So I would have 2 modes of 15 and 23. Okay. So that's median, that's mode. Mean is going to be the one that actually takes a little bit of arithmetic, and it's usually the one that people are most familiar with, which is good. Doesn't matter what the numbers are, and it doesn't matter if they're in order. Usually you're going to use calculator to do this. 20, 18, 11, 15, 19, 12, 12, 20. Now in an assignment, typically you'll be given the same data set, and for the same data set asked mean, median, and mode. So you need to keep which is which in order. But here I'm looking for the mean average. So I would pull up a calculator or do the mental math or do it by hand. But just to speed things along here, let's say we add them up. So 20 plus 18 plus 11 plus 15 plus 19 plus 12 plus 20 plus 12. Make sure you get all of them in there. And then you're dividing by how many numbers there are. Here I have 8 data points in my entry. So I take the total divided by 8, which gives me a decimal of 15.875. On a standardized test, you don't want to round unless it tells you to do so. If it does, then you need to round correctly. For your assignment, your directions are going to say round to the nearest hundredths place if possible. And here we can round that, which would round to 15.88. So be sure you're paying attention to what the directions are asking you to do. That's it for 8.4. If you guys have any questions, please attend office hours. Otherwise, have a good day, and I will talk to you soon.